It was easy.
City Council of West Liberty to order, and we are joined tonight by Councilmember Parizek, Councilmember Dominguez, Mayor ProTem McFerren, Councilmember Schiltz. And I would anticipate we'll hear from. Yeah, so I assume that Councilmember Martinez will be here shortly. So first item on the agenda is item number 2, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We'll move on to item number 3, which is approval of the consent agenda, which amounts to the city council minutes from 12/02/25. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, the clerk, or no, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the consent agenda is approved. Next is item number 4A, oath of office, and I'm first up, and then our 2 council members who were reelected are next.
You want to go back here or do you want to move them?
Yeah.
Right here. Okay. You'll move that.
Okay.
Just excuse. I talked too fast for you.
Okay.
All right. Raise your right hand and please repeat after me. I, Mark Smith,
I, Mark Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all duties of the office of City Mayor of the City of West Liberty,
discharge all duties of the office of City Mayor of the City of West Liberty, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law. All right, next up is Councilmember Dominguez. Like the flag at back. Of you. All right. Please raise your right hand. I, David Dominguez, do solemnly swear
I, Dana Dominguez, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all duties
discharge all duties
of the office of City Council Member
of the office of City Council Member
of the City of West Liberty, Iowa,
of the City of West Liberty, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. Council Member Martinez. Raise your right hand. I, Omar Martinez, do solemnly swear
I, Omar Martinez, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all duties of the office of City Council Member
discharge all the duties of the office of the City Council Member
of the City of West Liberty, Iowa,
of the City of West Liberty, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. Now, where do you find the good if you want? Okay, next up is item number 5A, a 12-month Class E liquor license for Jeff's Market in the auto renewal program. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we move to 5B, a 12-month Class C retail alcohol license for Helen Q. Helen K. Bar that is expiring on 12/10/2006. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Have we had any incidents, Chief?
Okay, is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we'll move on to item 6A, the city engineer's report, which is part of your packet. Are there any questions or discussion items from the city engineer's report?
I just, Mr. Mayor and Council, I just have a few things. As Lenny has pointed out here, we had a pretty extensive meeting regarding the East Sixth Street project. And part of that conversation, we identified upgrading Farmers Lane due to the potential new housing division or housing area that Deepak has proposed, looking at more traffic coming through those areas. So at this time, we decided that we wanted to have them include that upgrade to Farmers Lane. Likewise, has been a lot of traffic that's kind of moving through there more than there has been in the past. So it was time to get it more from a gravel to an actual proper street. So they are looking at those things with that project. So other than that, there was nothing really more to add to his report.
Okay, any questions or concerns from the members of council? Hearing none, we will move to item 6B, and that's the city manager's report.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I did have time to just quickly do up a written report. Just some highlights here. I think we already know it's been snow removal with public works staff. In the downtime, then it's maintenance on the equipment for the snow removal. But the public works director, Adam Reinhardt, did have a pretty extensive visit with Crawford Company today to go over our boiler system, and they've identified some valve leaks and some additional immediate corrections that we need to get done on the boiler. So they're gonna get those items identified more thoroughly and provide us a plan in order to get them corrected, and then we'll look at any additional updates to the system or an HVAC quote for the entire building. And the electric, we continued conversations, and we'll talk a little bit more about that with RPGI coming up. And the emergency operations, Chief Hauser had a successful Shop with a Cop event, and I'll just leave him to provide you more details in the future. And then just wanted to let you know that EMS Chief Carlson had stopped by and visited me on December 5th. Had some concerns regarding the EMS Suburban. I guess it has a lot of high mileage on it, not necessarily a dependable vehicle for, they use that as part of their emergency calls as well, especially if they have to do mutual aid and not to pull an additional ambulance. So that way we make sure we have an ambulance within our area, if I understood it correctly. And so I had, through that conversation, I said, due to our transition with the agency, I believe that would be a conversation that would need to be held with multiple boards, that it wouldn't just be directly, even though the EMS is under the city's operations, we still are in this transition. And if it's purchasing more inventory equipment, those things, best practice would be to make sure that we have that discussion with all the boards. So we'll probably get a little more of that information. I have one more thing to address there. I'll quickly go in. Likewise, Parks and Rec have been handling snow removal as well and maintaining equipment. The pool boiler system was inspected this last week. and it passed. Likewise, the library's boiler inspection was also this last week, and it's my understanding it passed, but there was already a call out for leaky valves with the boiler, and so I believe the director said that she has noted that to the library board and they'll be getting that maintenance. They've been working on internal structure implementation. I have the more notes there in my report regarding that. And just an update on a winter reading challenge, and then a transition with employee Jenny Ascarino into adult services with Tim McMahon's retirement December 31st of this month. So Specialist Woodson under communications, as she had stated last meeting, kind of provided you with what she's been working on. Also continued to work with Big Imprint. We did get our audit back. So she's reviewing that to make sure that we're in compliance coming into 2026. And she's also been working through a communications policy. And I believe then also she worked with staff to finish the city's operations calendar so we can have that posted. And with administration, Clerk Hoffert finished this last week, execu time. So that was a goal that we started back in 2019-2020 to upgrade our payroll reporting system to an electronic system versus a manual system. This was to provide more accuracy, efficiency in payroll processing, allowing us to, again, collect and archive records in an electronic system versus a written and paper system. So she successfully, they completed that, and she's currently working on establishing staff to go into a pilot program at the first of the year. And then from there, depending on how things, which we're pretty confident that the way the program has rolled out, that it'll go well, and then we'll have the entire staff then participating in the executive time. So if you want more information on that, you can reach out to the clerk and she can provide you those details. So administration staff also helped out with the shop with the cop. And then from there, I just made notes and continued things that we've been working on. I did submit our draft to Muscatine, to Bi-State and Muscatine County on our hazard mitigation update. Since that will be, they'll start processing after the first of the year to get a final approval on that. But I have our supervisors reviewing that as well. And then from there, I just kind of, the rest of the things that that I could capture, at least right now, what's been going on. So in addition to that, I just wanted to quick, as a part of my report, just address the major accident that happened on the Interstate 80 this last weekend. So, and this is, if you have not had an opportunity to see that, the association did provide a press release. And so I am taking my information from their press release along with my own. But it's talking to the multi-vehicle collision at the mile marker 262 westbound on Interstate 80. The apparatuses that had responded was A741, A747, and E712. And they operated from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. And then they continued to help clear up until it was reopened around 9 p.m. When I spoke with the chief today, I told him I wanted to share with mayor and council about the incident for the purpose of also understanding that during the time we're providing mutual aid to the interstate, that's also taking away services from here. We were fortunate that we did not have any emergencies that occurred here, given the fact that all our staffing and our volunteers were on the scene out there. So again, it just brings up, that point that we continually are, in a situation where we're participating and we're providing mutual aid, but then it leaves us vulnerable when, volunteers and our staff members have to take calls. And I think most of us are aware that there appears to be more and more major accidents, and and that has been determined, that stretch of interstate is determined one of the worst stretches so far in the state of Iowa. And so it's not even just with the winter month driving, there's been, terrible accidents out there year round, so. With that said, they had stated that they evaluated more than 40 patients. They transported approximately 25 to the hospital. The fire rescue, they had more than three extractions and uninjured persons transported. It's just saying that total still being compiled. They're still working on their reports from the incident. And they, a part of the mutual aid was working with West Branch, Atalissa, Wilton, Johnson County, Tipton, Durant, Iowa State Patrol, and the Iowa DOT. So they all worked together on that major incident. Part of this is the recognition for the West Liberty Emergency Service team and the mutual aid partners for their bravery, their professionalism, and their dedication during this major incident. Responders worked hours under dangerous conditions, moving traffic, severe winter weather, and multiple crash scenes to save lives and protect the public. Their actions reflect the highest standards of service. And I spoke with Chief today, and I got his permission, to share this with Mayor and Council. And also during the time that they're rescuing people, their lives are also at danger because there was still ongoing traffic. There were still large semis and other vehicles trying to drive through the area. So the whole time that they're doing their job to try to save and get people out of vehicles, they're also in a high risk situation, given the accident and all the moving vehicles. So it's a terrible situation, but it's a situation that I believe is a fresh one in our minds. That the mayor and I up for a conversation with the Muscatine County supervisors. It's now time to call them to take action on the emergency service levy. As things continue to go, and even now as hard as they are, with not being able to have volunteers, and that the city and the rural trustees are funding the emergency services, that pulls all those resources to those accidents. And like I said, it's not just one. I mean, this is occurring more and more all the time, to where these are large accidents that involve where it needs everyone. And so based on that, I just wanted to share with Mayor and Council that I'm committing with the mayor that we will start working with conversations with Muscatine County from the first of the year, and we will enlighten them based on these incidents and other things as to the urgency for them to take action and get the process going on the emergency levy tax. So that's all I have.
Well, I think I speak for the whole council on a heartfelt thanks to our EMS and fire department folks for this incredible work. If you saw any of the video of that, it was absolutely a horrible situation. That storm would have been bad enough without accidents, and then to have to deal with what they had to deal with that. The other thing is that the way this countywide levy for emergency services, the first step would have to be the Board of Supervisors saying that emergency medical services are an essential service. That is yet to be done. Right. So step one for Muscatine County hasn't even begun. And it is an essential service, as we know with situations like this. Okay, are there questions for the city manager? Okay, we'll move on to the fire department report. We did have a meeting this month. Both council member Parizek and I attended it. Some of the highlights of it, there was quite a bit of discussion about the transfer of emergency medical services, and there is going to be, the chief is going to participate in a meeting with the Department of Health and Human Services on January 6th to discuss that further. The appearance is that it's a green light for it to be transferred over from the city of West Liberty to the newly created West Liberty and Rural Township Fire and Rescue Agency. In addition to that, there was discussion about the security lights that belong to the city, and they were able to purchase replacements they'd estimated for about $2,000. And that was going to come in, I think, at $1,400 instead of $2,000 for them. The president of the board, Dick Brand, had donated $2,000 for the replacement of the security cameras. And they said you put in $600 more than is necessary for this. He said to keep the money and to use it for equipment. He would rather have it spent that way than for ongoing operating expenses. There was discussion about the abstract, which is something that City Manager Geertz and I talked about. There is no abstract for the building. There was a security deed that was issued at the time the building was built. And so I don't know the legalities of whether an abstract needs to be developed or not. I felt the tenor of the discussion was that an abstract needed to be developed. There also, we were handed an agreement with the railroad because when the building was built, some of it is on railroad right of way, some of it is on land that was donated for the building of the building. And so it's an agreement. I read through it. I thought it looked like a pretty standard type of agreement. The railroad will charge rent of $100 a year, but it can be upped by the cost of living index, whatever the cost of living index is for that year, then that $100 would go up from that. Let me think. Security we also had discussion about open meetings laws and question of whether, since the board was designated before the requirement of attending, whether people had to attend or not. The latest email that I saw on that was the recommendation that everyone take the training, and I completed it today. And I do recommend, even though council members are not required to participate in the training, I did this League of Cities training today and found it to be very helpful, and would encourage you to take that training as well. Councilmember Parizek, what to add to it, and what have I missed?
You gathered it all.
Oh, budgeting.
Budget, there's no excuses on the budget.
Right.
And we kind of set them up for what the utilities and things were probably be costing on their end. So
Yeah.
that kind of got laid out, but yeah, I think everything else, all the major points you hit.
Yeah. The bylaws of the organization require that the board approve a budget by January 1st. And so we weren't in a position to approve that. There is in the bylaws where there can be a electronic meeting. And so we're anticipating getting that. I've talked with City Manager Geertz about what kind of figures we can provide to them. So, okay. All right, any questions about the fire department? Oh, and Bob Dewar, who's been serving on the committee, announced that the meeting that we had in December will be his last meeting. So at the January 6th meeting, we'll make a replacement for that on that position. All right, if there are no questions, we'll move to item 7A, vendor voucher claim in the amount of $1,023,697.96. Is there approval? Or is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Sorry. Is there a second? Second. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we will move on to item number 8, which is public comments and or correspondence. This is a time that is set aside for comments from the public on topics of city business other than those listed on the agenda. No action can be taken, and we ask that you state your name and address for the record and keep your comments to no more than 2 minutes. Are there any public comments?
My name's Paul Reed. I wasn't going to say anything, but after I heard the city manager talk, I'm just curious to know what it's gonna take to get the supervisors to get involved, because I've been on that highway thousands of times and been doing CPR on people while there's cars doing 80, 90 miles per hour behind me. Me and Omar together have shaken the Grim Reaper's hand on multiple occasions. So does it just take EMS? Does it take the police department? Does it take fire? Who does it take to get them to say, yeah, you guys are somebody we need to keep? Like, what does it take? I mean, you guys can rent some equipment, attach it to you guys like they do their body cameras, attach it to the paramedics, let them see for themselves. Put a camera on their back. So when they're down like I was doing CPR on somebody on I-80, they can see that traffic doesn't give a damn about you. They don't care who you are out there. We're lit up like Christmas trees. And they still, I don't know how many people I've transported to the university alone. I mean, thousands of patients that I transported. And it seems like when the red and blues are on, everybody decides they want to pull out in front of you. Am I right or wrong? When the red and blues make you say, oh, yeah, let me do something stupid instead of let me get out of his way. You know what I'm saying? And sirens don't make it any easier. They act like they don't hear them. But then they want to sue you when you tear them a whole new, you know what? You know what I'm saying? So what does it take? I was just talking to him in email earlier today about getting something started to show people that this isn't just a game that they just sit behind a desk and push papers all day, that they actually get out and do something. It doesn't matter if you're in a small town or not. You know, I've seen small towns be worse than big towns. So what does it take to get this going? Do I need to say something? Do I need to go to their meeting and say, get up off your butts and do something? What do I need to do? So I'm not afraid to say it. You know that. I tell y'all like it is constantly. But so what do I need to do?
Citizen input, as much input as possible to the Board of Supervisors, I think is what it takes.
On call.
Because I see y'all got these guys on the agenda. You know, $2 more than what they originally asked for. They deserve it. They bust their ass just like y'all do, if not more. He's sitting here protecting y'all right now. You know, the guy that he's bringing in is probably going to end up doing the same thing for this city. Give him $2 more extra. Don't be greedy. Give him the money. They need it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Are there any other public comments?
Mr. Mayor, I would
Yes.
just like to take a moment and recognize, I was waiting to see if Mr. McFerren was gonna make a public comment. Can I make a public comment for you and recognize
Yeah.
the artistry that you've provided for our backdrop?
Oh,
sorry. So I just
Oh,
wanna take a
sure.
moment to recognize,
Definitely.
Cardinal Graphics Design for providing us, the artwork that will be displayed on our back wall, when there was notification of who we are and when we're filming and our events. So thank you again. They worked very timely and was very patient with my continual do this, do that.
Make sure you add it to the first of the year.
Yes. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. All right, we will move on to item 9A, resolution 2025-121.
You have the council members.
Yeah.
who would ask for.
Oh, excuse me, I'm moving on too quickly here, so comments, correspondence, and information that you received, public comments, Councilmember Martinez.
I would just like to say we had a great time at the Chapel Cop for the kids.
It was.
I think I would recommend for some of you to try to experience next year and hopefully make this a bigger event than what it already is. So
Yeah, thanks. Councilmember Schultz.
I spoke with Steve Alt, one of our downtown business owners, again yesterday, just concerning the snow removal and different cars that continually tend to be parked the way during snow emergencies. we had a good conversation and it seems like things have gotten better as our snowfall has increased. So I guess I would just continue to get the word out there to people that when there is a snow emergency, we're lenient with parking, of course, during like downtown, but we need to make sure that we're safe for everybody and are able to get things done.
Mayor Pro-Tem McFerren.
I have nothing.
Okay. Councilmember Dominguez.
I just a few notes. First of all, thank you for the mayor and any of the administrative staff that helped Ms. Lopez with the processions. Because I feel like this is the first of probably many things that'll come up where we didn't realize that Father Guillermo was doing behind the scenes because he did so much.
Yeah.
So I really very much appreciate anyone who helped get that together so that they could do the procession. And then also I attended the first Immigrant Justice Steering Committee, which is the national committee that I was asked to be on through Local Progress, and it was really great. And we have our next meeting next month, and myself and one other person in the nation are the only rural folks, and so that's really neat. I hope to get to know the other rural person because the rural impact of immigration enforcement, the most recent immigration enforcement is one of our first goals to tackle. And so I think myself and that other person will be very important in bringing some of that perspective, like the rural perspective to the committee. Other cities are huge cities like Los Angeles, New York City, Portland, Maine, and Portland, Oregon, Nashville. There's huge cities all across the nation so I feel very, very honored and privileged to be a part of that group. And I'll keep any information and stuff that we find out. I'll forward it to the staff so they can share it with the council as well. I also had on my notes to thank Fire and EMS for not just Saturday because I know that was very heavy, but also had on my notes like we were almost in that accident. We decided to turn around on our way to Cameron's wrestling meet in Marion, and Paul was like, this is too much, we gotta turn around. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to miss it, but yeah, better safe than sorry. We turned around and literally heard the sirens as we were on Garfield going home. So it could have been us if we weren't turned around. So I want to let people know, please just turn around. And then also thank the bus driver. I don't know who it was from West Liberty who got the girls home safe from Marion, because I was on pins and needles watching Live 360 the whole time for them, driving them safely home.
It's just some damn snow. That's all we see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care as long as the girls come home safe. I'm just thankful. And I also attended affordability for all, an agenda to bring down costs for working families, and it's a really great PDF that has kind of these 10 kind of principles that communities can do, councils can look over, and some of them are for big budgets and big cities, but some of them are like really practical things that we could overview or look over and consider for West Liberty to help with affordability. So I will forward that to Clerk Hoffert so they can share it with the rest of the city council. I think that's it.
Councilmember Parizek.
I don't have anything in way of public comments, but I did finish West Liberty itself, and it was just happy to be me this time. Did finish our term with the Muscatine County Joint Commission, our communications commissions. So after the first year, Wilton, a representative from Wilton City Council will be going to that meeting instead of me. But I enjoyed my time on that, and I think I learned a lot from their perspective too. So 2 years went by quickly. So I thank them and they thank me, so we're all good.
Okay. All right, City Administrator Geertz for.
Just that I had an email from Mr. Alt. He had identified and spoke with him. I immediately spoke with Chief. Chief and I both agreed. I mean, the first snowfall that occurred also during a holiday. And so we had a lot of additional vehicles in our community. They're not from our community. And it was it also then provided difficulty for the police officers to make contact with individuals to move vehicles. So but we just identified to, you know, just some more information and like even having landlords so they can contact their tenants. And so we're working through those things as well. And likewise, again, working with communications, because we also had an email from a rural resident that had pointed out, you know, a few things that maybe we could provide, especially if you're new to the community. You know, there's potential that you don't understand, you know, the snow emergency. So Brittany and I worked together on that, and she updated some of that communication. And so we'll be looking at that, just keeping that in mind, that not everybody, you know, and sometimes people aren't from an area where they've experienced snow, so you know they are not aware of those things. So we'll continue to work on those communications pieces, and I know, and Chief and Public Works Director Reinhardt, they got it. I mean, again, it's not, as I always say, it's not though we're asking to have snow all the time so we get lots of practice. It's okay that we don't want to complain about, you know, it's okay to have that. So we're not always, you know, well practice for lots of snow, I suppose. I don't know how else to best say that we don't want it to snow like that all the time. So those things. And then I would just say, for the council with Councilmember Dominguez, at any point in time, you know, with what Councilmember Dominguez and her participation in these things, I would recommend, even if you wanted to provide a report along with the rest of us, that way we can capture that and archive that, and the work that you're doing and the participation. And then if there's additional information, I know Omar, we talked about it too. So in the future, I would just recommend that any council member or mayor, if you want to provide like a written report, or just make note with the clerk and just let her know that you'll have a report to provide, then it becomes a part of that archive in those areas. So just
In Johnson County, we, like the first of the month, we had a section just on like a standing like report.
yeah.
So folks could give updates for that stuff too, because I know with the mayor and I also had a meeting that kind of ties the city in, but doesn't. So it's like, what do you say?
Right.
But,
Yeah, so no, I would just, you know, if we want to do that going forward and starting off in the new year, and just reorganize our agenda a little bit, so that way we can make sure we give you that time, and that you can bring up that information, and then we can archive it under reports.
Can
So
we make those into work sessions as well?
what's that?
Can we make them into work sessions as well?
I mean, yeah, you can reach
Or
out.
like kind of, I don't know, say Dana goes to like 3, participates in 3 events, and then she does like a work session, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, or I just.
I think the bigger thing is like when you're providing the reports, and then you can address it in your report, you know, to have council consider, you know, the consensus of council, and say, would you like to see this in a work session? Would you like me to do a presentation? And then the council as a whole can give a concession on, you know, if they're interested, if they want more information, or if they just prefer like written or electronic information. So
I know for local progress too, they're always willing to like zoom in
mhm.
and talk to the council more if there's something in the packet or something that you all want to know more about. They're the experts and they're amazing. So
So absolutely. That is all I have.
Okay, how about City Clerk?
We do not have anything of this thing.
Okay. Move on then to item number 9A, resolution 2025-1216-298, a resolution setting wages for and ILEA graduate of the West Liberty Police Department. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Martinez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yeah.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Okay, the last item before adjournment is 9D, preview of the January 6th council meeting. The one thing that, stay tuned for possible work sessions, I had a meeting with city manager Geertz and with electrical superintendent Franklin about issues that we've talked about at the council, about basically what we're looking at to keep the rates, electrical rates in our community as low as possible. And we wanted to keep you informed. As we know, there are quite a few things that are fluid with that right now. And as we get more information, we want to keep you informed as much as possible what's occurring. So there may be some more work sessions. Outside of that, I'm not aware of anything major other than that coming up.
Bi-State, a representative of Bi-State will be visiting with us on January 6th. I believe to address the Muscatine County hazard mitigation update and some other projects that we have that we're involved in. And I know lead director Phil Weiss had met with them today. And so there's some economic development programs that they would like to. Communication policy, we'll have an agenda prepared for us to review for the January 13th goal setting session. And other than that, I mean, typically at that meeting, we look at appointing committees. But I'll let the mayor handle that communication and how we want to do.
What time is the January 13th in the evening?
It is at 5:30. Yep.
All right, any other questions? What's ahead? Okay. If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Christmas.
Hearing all, yeah, all right. Hearing none except the wish for Merry Christmas, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. See you next year.